Hi Ursula, there's a lot going on with this logo to arrange, so I'm going to show you a few things with your logo. So I've copied it into a page and I've played around with it. So that's the original there. I'm going to copy and paste, so I've got another working logo to work on. So I guess the main thing you need to be wary of is that links down the bottom is really hard to read, so you might want to look for a typeface that can sort of give you that look, or just keep trying to redraw it until you get the look that you're after, just a bit more refined. So we can see here that this part of the nose is sticking out, so that's just with the stroke that we need to go in there and fix it up. It's also, you have this line that doesn't follow through here, and this is sort of sitting on top, and that's just the way that your layers have been worked. So it makes it really hard for you to do that. So getting started, so we sort of have to pull it apart to put it back together. So I'm going to remove these two out of the way so we can work on this. And then I'm going to grab just the circles, copy paste. And so you can see that that is all joined, which we don't want, but we want to get that circle back without the links in it. So if I have a look at transform, it gives me the size of the circle up there. So I'm just going to go to the ellipse tool, click on the background, and let's see if it gives me that same size. So I'm going to select this one, go to transform. So it tells me that's 48707, 48694. So you have to remember those or write them down. So this one is 487, let's go back to there, transform, 48707. And if this is on, then it's going to do it in scale and proportion anyway. The stroke weight that you have is 0.75, so we'll give it the same stroke weight. And then we can delete this circle. And then we can put this one in here. And so to align everything, we just go align up the top and align on the horizontal align center and align on the horizontal align vertical. So that is all centered within each other. And because you've got this as a white fill and you can't stick the links behind and you couldn't center it because it had outlined everything. So now we need to make a hole in the center and expand all of these. So if I group these, all of these, and then I want to object expand. So what's happening is you've got all these lines here, but we want to make them into shapes. So object expand, and just leave those where they are and go okay. So now you've got shapes there, and then I'm going to go into the shape builder tool and clicking there. So that's creating the shape of the center, and then I can delete the center. So if I take this over to the side, I'm hoping, that it's hollow. So then now that it's hollow, I can move the links around within there. So this links, so now we can remove all of this. Okay, so the links you've got here, let's zoom in. Now you've got these pointy lines here, so that wasn't helping you with that. So you can go up to stroke and down to caps, so rounded caps, that might help, but the corners is the important one. So have a look at what happens when you click on corners. So then you lose that. So that makes the picture a bit more refined. I know you had that colored panel behind there, so group this first, Control C, Control V to copy and paste. And then I'm just going to see if I can merge all of that into one shape. There we go. So we have one shape there now. And what we want to do is fill it with that colour that you have in the eye. And we also want the stroke to be that colour that you have in the eye as well. So let's look at that colour. So if we double click on there, so 14, 68, 102, we want to make sure it's the same as the other colour that you have over here, which I don't think it is. So let's click in there, double click, 40, 74, 15. Okay, so for the line weight, we also want to have the same. So we double click on this panel here. I think it was 0, or it's 40, 74, 15.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
And then the stroke you might want to make, say, 0.75 or 1. We'll stick it behind the links and see how it looks. So that's sitting in front at the moment. So we go up to Object, Arrange, Center Back, put the links on top, and then we do the Align again. So align vertical and horizontal. So you can see it's probably not sticking out enough. Maybe just a little bit more. Move this away. So let's make it 1. And so you see the same thing is happening. So again, if that ever happens, just go to Stroke, Caps and Corners, just soften those, and then move it back on top. And again, align so that they're perfectly in sync with each other. Okay, so you've got that there, then you can group it. So Control G. But what I would do before I do that is with the background. So I want to expand that now so that stays a shape. Object, expand. Okay. And then hit the in Pathfinder, the Unite tool. So now that's one shape that these can work together now. So align them again. Group them. And then we'll take them back to the circle. And so sit them in the circle. You sort of want to visually center it. So you're looking at the positive and the negative space. So the figure being the links and the ground being the white background. So you're looking at both of them and wanting to balance that out. Obviously, this isn't quite working as it is. So you just want to zoom in there. And I would first, with the direct selection tool, just click and drag over these points here, these nodes, and then move it down behind. And then these two are sticking out as well. So you have to click on those nodes, which make sure you get the right ones, and make sure that that is all sitting correctly. Okay, so now you've got your links there. Now the other thing, if you take this off, it'll have a hollow background. So you can either leave it like that if you wanted to, but you probably don't. So with the circle tool, hold down the Shift key, get a circle that's big enough to fit behind everything. Just make sure it's white. So make that white with no outline. White with no outline. Object, arrange, center back, and then move that in behind here. Let's do it this way. And then you've got that. So you can group all of that. So you've got your logo there. So now you've got the IC text and you want to, Object arrange, bring to front, so it's sitting on top. And then again, select all of that and use the align tool to make sure that that IC is sitting centered. You may want to play around with the scale of it to make sure that it sits well, reads well on the logo, and every time you move it, just make sure that you're aligning it again. So that's up to you to play around with. With the links, I don't think it's easy to read yet. I'd probably also make it bigger a little bit so that you can actually read it when you put it together. But another thing you can do, you can go to the font and you can look up a whole lot of fonts. So this one is British, it's called. There's a whole lot, and what they have are things that are called glyphs. So if I type in links, and it just looks like that. So that's how it came. Then I will highlight the L and I'll go up to type and down to glyphs. So it shows me all these little extensions. Not all fonts have this, and mostly from DeFont. Most fonts don't have it, but they're little tails that you can put at the start and the end. But this, I did a search and this one actually did. So then I can click on that, double click on that, and then it changes that L to that. And then with the X, I can see if it has a glyph for that as well, which it does. So you could simply do a typeface like that, and that would say work with your logo. And so play around with placement and visually center it. Or you can then, so this is type at the moment. So if I go type, create outlines, now that's a shape. So if you zoom in, so it's a shape with outlines. See how these all overlap? So then again, I go to the Pathfinder and the Unite tool, and now that becomes one shape. So then if you're wanting to put those, like those sound waves, I will get the direct selection tool and move these. It's never really a good idea to change type like this, because if you don't do it really well, it's going to look a bit messy. So then I just sort of drag them up and down. But then you want to go back in and you want to make sure that you've got more consistent lines. So then with the direct selection tool, just click these. You've got your arms to play around with. They take a bit of getting used to. You can smooth the corners or not. And then this arm here I want to bring down a bit. And then see over here it's looking a bit messy. This has a really sharp corner. So you can keep playing on it, but this is just to give you an idea of perhaps a more professional way to address that issue while getting across the message that you want. So I will leave that with you to play with. Good luck.